Hey everyone, checking, is this working? Yes, there's no fancy intro because it turns out I accidentally deleted it from the StreamYard gallery I've got. So, whoops, my bad. Just going to adjust the camera a little bit here so that I can get everything under control because the boom arm is trying to interfere with the laptop screen and the microphone is trying to be its own thing. It's like, come on, work with me here, technology. But all right, I think we're not too bad. Maybe I just want to have the, yeah, there we go. I want to be able to stare at you a little bit there. Okay, let's see how this is going. Now, if everybody can hear me or see me, let me know. The delay on comments to StreamYard is apparent. There is at least a 10-second. Yes, there we go. Vala and Kabuki Kid, two of the regulars. How you doing? Yeah, just trying to. Come on, camera. Trying to get it so it's. I mean, one good thing about having this banner at the bottom is that it covers up the boom arm a bit. So that's actually quite good. And I'm glad the audio's sounding a lot better because I did the video yesterday, the the collaboration I did with Alex, which, by the way, if anybody watches this later and like is one of those people that's giving me good comments about it, thank you. It was good to get such a good reaction to that because I want to do more like it. But I thought my audio was a bit off in that video. I was listening to myself and I thought, why is Alex like 100% crystal clear and yet I wasn't? And I think I figured out why. The problem is that when you go onto StreamYard, it gives you an option to activate something called echo cancellation. And by default, I put it on because I'm paranoid about the laptop noise. But I need to realize I'm using a dynamic mic. Dynamic mic literally just picks up this and nothing else. So it shouldn't pick up the laptop. And with the echo cancellation on, I did two comparisons and I thought, yeah, hang on a minute. That is muffling my voice way too much. It's trying to compensate. So I've turned it off and I listened to it and it sounds a lot better, at least compared to before. But I do have the means to turn the volume down a little bit if it's a little bit too loud. So yeah, oh man. January as an English tax accountant. It's not the time to be a tax accountant. It's basically, this is the worst month in the UK for a tax accountant. The deadline at the end of the month is when loads of individuals have to get their returns in. And we are already far behind everything that we would normally do. I mean, we were far behind from like April because of the lockdown, the first lockdown. Now we're in another lockdown. We've had COVID, we had IT issues. Believe me, you name it, we are crunching like crazy for these last 2 weeks. I'm not even confident I can get them all done. We've already had to say to people, look, we can't guarantee it if you don't get it in. So it is like absolute nightmare. So that is wearing me out a little bit work-wise. I mean, the good thing about having a stream at 7 o'clock was that I had an excuse to say, right, 5:30, I'm out of work, I'm having my dinner, and then I'm getting on this stream. So that wasn't too bad. Although, my arms are aching like crazy at the moment because I thought 5 minutes before the stream started, I thought, I need a drink. I need to go make a drink. So I was like, got me squash, coffee. Can't have caffeinated. That's what's in my electric grinder. So I had to use the manual grinder to do my decaf coffee, my very nice, tasty decaf coffee. Yum. The problem is that, have you ever used a manual grinder for coffee beans? You've got the little sort of, imagine a handle like this and a cylinder thing like that. And you basically put the coffee beans in it and you've just got to basically go like this for ages in order to grind it. And believe me, when you've only got 5 minutes before a stream starts, you would do it like freaking quick. I've probably like gained an extra pound of muscle just purely from spinning that thing ridiculously crazy. It's like mad. On the plus side, I got my coffee, so I'm good. Oh yeah. Now, what have we got so far? So, Vala, Kabuki, and Surf, thank you for joining. I'm not expecting a huge amount of, shall we say, amount of people on here, but if it's just the three of us, then fine. The three of us will chat. That's the way it will go. So, people seem to be hearing it. Watched the whole of that video this morning. I couldn't comment as I was watching on the PS4. Fair enough. Can you watch YouTube on the PS4? I haven't got a PlayStation, so I'm not aware that you can do that. Evening Paul, thanks for joining in. And only seen about 30 minutes of it, but it seems good so far. Hope you can collab with Not Bored Gaming in the future. Well, I want to do collaborations with a lot of people, so I'm certainly game for doing more. Let me just check on that, actually. Let me share my screen. Share Chrome tab, new tab. Okay, that should work. Okay, cool. I'm going to put this on the left-hand side of the screen. I'm going to put the tab on the other side of the screen so that I can see what it is I'm doing while seeing the chat. This is really, I like this actually, dual screen. I wish I had more monitors for this on a laptop, but sadly, no. You mentioned Not Bored. That rings a bell. I think I've done the promo for them, haven't I? We'll just check. Not Bored Gaming. Oh yeah, of course I recognize. Of course, Not Bored Gaming. Idiot. Yes, of course. Mark Dainty in that. Yeah. Idiot. That would be interesting, actually. Maybe we could do something in the future. I mean, there's several people out there who do solo gaming like as a big deal. Oh, wait, that's Never Bored Gaming. That's different. Never Bored Gaming, Not Bored Gaming. Oh, blimey, that's why I got confused. But no, Not Bored Gaming. Here we go. This is the proper one. Yes. So, yep. Mostly, like I said, it's solo games. There's a lot of people who do solo games, but I guess I could do a collaboration where we talk about some solo games. That should be easy enough to get in the I don't know, maybe like top 5 solo autumners or something like that. We could do a little mini list of that. Yeah, I'm up for something like that. So we'll see. Think about that. But I do want to get in other people as well. I mean, there's like Ryan and Bethany Board Games, Board Game Ramblings, and I are doing something soon. All right, guaranteed. I know I've kept saying this for the last month and a bit, but we've finally got on Twitter and actually organized this thing. We haven't got a date, but this weekend we're both going to do our lists for a top 10, and then as soon as we got the list done, we'll get a date in the diary. Don't know when. End of January, first week of Feb or something. I'd like to do it as soon as possible, really. But yeah, we are definitely doing that. So there is a top 10 list coming with Board Game Ramblings. Alex and I have got a second part to that 10-second review thing at some point next week. I mean, we're going to record it on Sunday. I don't know when Alex will air it because it's going to be on his channel. We're doing it in turns. So part 1 on mine, part 2 on his. The only thing I probably will do is I'll either get myself a stopwatch or get my phone handy, and I'm definitely going to try and do 10 seconds for my initial summaries because I know Alex went a little bit longer, and there were the occasional comments where it's like a little bit longer than 10 seconds for a lot of them. It's like, fine. Well, I'm going to have my stopwatch and I'm going to do my best to get it in 10 seconds. Pedantic. We did say ish in the title, and we did stipulate that we were probably going to run over a bit on those, but I don't know. I'll get on to some questions in a minute. I just need to go over a couple that have been sent by Patreons first, but shouldn't take me too long to get through those. There's only a couple, really. I mean, the first very quick one was there any AIs in games that, in fact, actually, do I need to type this comment out myself? Yes. Are there any AIs in games that can function as an actual player? And then there we go. So like I say, they're anonymous, but they're from Patreons. But basically that's kind of a summary of the question. The AIs in games, you've got automners and you've got just like solo modes, but they were asking whether there was any AIs in games that could function properly as another player. They tend to play it in games of 2, and so when that happens, you want like a dummy player to do stuff, but the dummy player rules in a lot of games don't seem to work very well or don't really simulate another player. There's a few that I'm aware of, though. I mean, I think, well, 1 or 2, I suppose. Architects of the West Kingdom is one of them. There's a bot player that you can have with 2 players, and I feel that's a half decent representation, but this is a tricky one, I think, to answer because I'm not entirely sure if AIs are able to function as an actual player, like actually perform moves like a physical player would. I mean, how can an AI be sophisticated enough to do that in a board game? In a video game, it'd be easy. You could have the 2 of you as human players and 1 automatic controlled opponent, but that's a video game. I don't see how you could simulate a player properly with an AI. But, we'll see whether there's potential chance for that, I guess. Similar to that question, actually, gentlemen, nice for you to join us. Have you tried the AI P&P deck for Praga Caput Regni? No, it's on my to-do list though this week because I played the game finally. I was going to do a first impressions video of it just after one play, but I also did try the solo mode from the book, which I thought was a waste of space. It's hard to get 140 points even on a multiplayer, and like it just seems like a boring time trial. But then I have been told about these like cards that you've got, and the tabletop simulator mod has those cards in there. So at some point I'm going to try those out, and I will do that before I do a first impressions video because I think it's only fair to the game, especially as these cards are official by Delicious Games. Another question from a Patreon that I want to do. Do you prefer numbers or pips? I should copy and paste this rather than type it, but well, we'll go with this. So, very quickly one. They basically said, when it comes to the traditional six-sided die, do you prefer numbers or pips? I very much prefer numbers. Pips and symbols. The problem is that it's a filter that your brain has to go through when you read a die. When we read a number, then we see the number. I see the number 6, I go 6, instant. I just see it. But the problem is if you see a number of dots or lines or triangles or skulls or whatever you have on them, then before you register it's 6, your mind has to go through that brief second or two, depending on how good your mental arithmetic is, of counting the pips on the die to recognize that it's a 5 or a 6. And I mean, obviously, if it's just 1 or 2, you can see it's 1 or 2. But 5 and 6, sometimes you just have to. It's just that extra little split-second decision that your mind has to go through. It's like CGI in a movie. When it's practical effects, you know it's right there, even though it's not technically real. But when it's CGI, you know it's not there, but you also know the effect isn't real because it's computer generated. But for a die, it can get worse. You get custom dice with all sorts of weird symbols. Like people will try and go, here's my funky custom die that are dwarven themed and they've got axes on them and that. And the problem is they get to a point where they're so fiddly to use that you roll them and you're like, huh? Oh, that's a 4. As soon as that happens, you fail with your die. So I'm always a numbers player. Definitely a numbers player. Okay, and one last very quick question. This time I'm definitely going to copy and paste this one because I'm not typing that out. So that one in the chat. All right. When it comes to sleeves, do I prefer snug fit or loose fit, thick or thin? I find thick tends to stick and thin tends to slide. Well, I use the same sleeves all the time now. I used to use Mayday Premium and I stuck by those for a while. Now, I think Mayday became this company. I'm not entirely sure. I think they're based on their same sleeves, but I use Sleeve Kings, like predominantly Sleeve Kings. In fact, I'm going to highlight this so much that I'm going to share the screen of a website actually. So Chrome, let's go on to new tab again, share. Right, I'm going to show you what these sleeves are because I keep talking about them, but I've never really showed examples. Let's go to the main website. Board Game Extras that you might have seen there was the retailer I use in the UK. But so Sleeve Kings, whatever. Hang on, what is all this? Search here, trying to find the menu. Oh, here we go. So sleeves by, is that what I need? Yeah, so here we go. So yeah, they got very boring packaging on them. I mean, they've now gone to this very minimalistic look, but they've got all sorts of different sizes. So they got the USA, they got the Chimera, they got the Yucatan and various other ones, mini Euro, big Euro. And they've also got some specific ones like Sail of Glory size. Let's see, they've definitely got other examples. They've got Seven Wonders size, they've got Square size, War of the Ring size, Lost City Magnum size, Tiny Epic compatible, Space Base compatible. Yeah, you can get Space Base sleeves. Those weird, long, thin ones. You can get ones like that. And, I mean, you may think, well, how does that differ from most others? 2 key differences. For that cost, I mean, that is a fairly cheapish cost for a pack of sleeves. Their thickness is 60% compared to other ones. Now, if you imagine that Mayday Premium was 100, like really thick, and penny sleeves are naught, nobody should use penny sleeves. They're horrible. They stick horrible. But 60% is above halfway in between. And I find that's like that's a good put to be in, where it's not too thick, not too thin, it's sturdy. These never split. I've never had a single sleeve king sleeve split. That is guaranteed from my perspective anyway. But the other thing is that they sell them in batches of 110. Which I thought, okay, that's a weird gimmick. Why do you sell them in packs 110? Their sole reason is because there's so many games out there that give sleeves of like, oh, give you like, there's 106 cards in this box. There's 101 cards of like this size. So they basically said, well, why don't we sell them in packs 110? And then it caters for it. Sweet. You get an extra 10 sleeves and it doesn't cost you any extra than a normal pack of premium 100 sleeves does. So you're essentially getting more for your money. But as I say, I've never had them split. I've never had a problem with them. They are easily what I buy. And if you're in the UK, I don't mind giving this guy a break and publicizing this because, frankly, I buy from them often enough. If you are in the UK, you can get them from Board Game Extras. They're local to me. They're about, well, they're in Southampton-ish. They don't have a store. They're just a web store. But they don't sell many different games, but they do sell pretty much everything you need for all the LCGs. So Arkham Horror LCG, Marvel Champions, Lord of the Rings, all stuff like that. They've got a few games in here, Gloomhaven, Lord of the Rings, Dominion, stuff like that, Dixit, family weight games. But they've also got a bucket load of sleeve kings. And for the most part, they tend to be in stock or pre-ordered within Good Thing. Every time I need to top up on sleeves, I go here. This is my go-to location for it. So, yeah, just to give them a little minute. So, Board Game Geek. All right, well, that's it for Q&As and Patreons. Not as many as usual this time, but that's cool. So let's get that comment off the screen and have a look back at you lovely people in the chat. Right after I partake in a nice coffee. Nice coffee. Let's have a look. Well, let's serve. Glenda Block, thanks for joining in. Here we go. Let's have a look. We've recently been enjoying small card games with 2 to 3 people. On Hanami? Oh, Hanami? Is that meant to be on Itama? I've not heard of Hanami. So what is that supposed to be? Spicy, I haven't heard of that one. The Crew, Abyss card game. Oh yeah, Abyss Conspiracy, that's good. You got any other favorites you can suggest? And, oh, sorry, my eyes are a little bit on the bloodshot size there. I've just had a shave and put beard oil on and stuff like that. So maybe done my hair. So maybe my eyes are just reacting to the stuff. You got any other favorites you can suggest with small card games, 2 to 3 players? Ooh. Yeah. Well, let's see. Lost Cities is a good 2-player one. It will only do 2 players, but that's a pretty good Cosmos game. In fact, yeah. Why am I showing you my ugly face in my brightly lit room when I could be showing you the screen, which is the way I really should be doing this? So here we go. I was going to say, that's way too small. I get to play around with this. It's my controls. I get to do what I like. Lost Cities. Here we go. It's had some of that. But Lost Cities, Cosmos, pretty easy 2-player game to learn. One of the very few games I like by Rainer Knizia. It worked with a previous ex-girlfriend. And, oh, God, that's a horrible photo. Who took that? All blue and everything. But this one, pretty simple. You've basically got to build up these different columns in numerical order. You're trying to get as many like high totals in these columns because each one is -20 to begin with, and then you build it up. But you're constantly drawing from a deck and you're taking it in turns. You've got a restricted hand size, and so half of it is trying to build up the columns, but then half of it is keeping cards so that the opponent can't use them. But then what's the opponent going for? Are they holding stuff you need? It's a very good back and forth, that one. Other 2-player card game. This could be good, actually. If you may have to buy the premium version. That's the only thing. And then I only recommend buying the premium version if you're really set on getting this game. But if you can find the small box version of this Valley, there you go. The camera's over there. Valley of the Kings. Very good at 2 to 3 players. This is possibly one of my favorite, if not my favorite deck builder I own. And this one is a great little game where very standard deck building rules, except for a cool twist that you're trying to get cards into your tomb. And in order to get them into your tomb, you have to physically take them out of your deck. So the cards have got special abilities on them, but you you only is that, can you read that? Well, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, but essentially you've got the cards, they've all got abilities and costs, it's multi-use. But when you've got them in your deck and you play them, you get their cool ability or their value, but they're not worth any points, and they're in different colors, so you've got to collect the sets. You have to get them into your tomb, and so by getting them into your tomb, you no longer have use of the ability, but then you'll score points. And as the pyramid that you see here that you're buying cards from is effectively a timer for the game, you've got to decide how quickly you can get stuff into your tomb, because if it's still in your deck by the end of the game, you might as well have not had the card, or at least depending on how often you used it. But this is such a good, clever deck builder, the way that works. And it's simplistic enough. It doesn't take up much table space, offers you a lot of replay value. I will say, as a recommendation, if you're going to buy one of these small sets, so if you buy the premium version, you'll get the entire lot. You'll get all the expansions, so it doesn't matter. But if you are going to buy a small set, then I definitely recommend you start off with Last Rites. Last Rites is the third standalone version that came out for it. Different cards in each set. You can play them standalone or mix them to your heart's content. This one, though, has a better set of starter cards for the deck. The starter cards in the other ones are fine, but once I got Last Rites, as you can see, I never stopped using those starter cards. They're just that good. But yeah, that is that's two I can think of. I don't want to spend too long on the same question. But yeah, Lost Cities and Valley of the Kings, both small card games, one for 2 players, one for 1 to 4 players, this one in particular. Really cool. And in the case of Valley of the Kings, certainly does not take up a lot of space if you can find one of those. All right, let's have a look again at another comment. Have you watched any good movies, TV recently? Movies and TV. Good? Hard to say. Well, actually, no, good. We finished Star Trek Discovery Season 3, and I thought that season was fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of hate for it, though. People are like all the Trekkie fans. I mean, I'm not a Trekkie. I love Next Generation. I love Voyager. That's about it. And Season 2 and 3 of Discovery. I thought Season 1 was pretty rubbish, but Season 2 and 3 just blew me away. But I really enjoyed Discovery Season 3, and yeah, but I'm seeing a lot of people just go like, oh, this is horrible. This is like poor, shoddy writing or something. It's like, I felt there was good action. There's good characters. You've got, I forget his name, but the guy who plays Book, he was in Supergirl as well. He's a fantastic actor. I think he does brilliantly. He's just such a good, charming bloke to watch on TV. And it's like, I was really enjoying it. But apart from that, not necessarily. I watched the Tomb Raider movie recently, the reboot version, because I wanted to check it out because I like Tomb Raider. But it was all right. It was kind of average. I wasn't like too blown away by it. Maybe if I share the screen again so people can kind of know what I'm on about. So Tomb Raider IMDb. And I don't mean the Angelina Jolie one. I mean this one. So Alicia Vikander as a star. It's okay. I mean, it's rated 6.3 on here. I would probably give it a 5 or a 6. I mean, yeah, I would give it that. I don't think it's bad. And I do think Alicia was very good. I think her voice is a little bit high-pitched for Lara Croft at times when she's screaming. But I think looks-wise and sort of like determination I'm ticked off-wise, I think she's got Lara Croft down to a T. And I would love to see her like in a sequel to this, like now as a fully honed Tomb Raider, because this is an origin story. So she's building up and she does develop throughout the film. But the plot was pretty basic. The villain was like not interesting at all. It takes a while to get going. I mean, this is a 2-hour film, and it doesn't really start getting good until about 45 minutes into the film. So it does take a while. And it was just kind of like, meh. I mean, I liked it okay. I'm glad I saw it. And I still love the Tomb Raider as a concept, but I got more enjoyment out of the Angelina Jolie one, to be honest, the original one of that, just because of how cheesy it was. You got Arnold Rimmer as like a butler, and you've got Jolie actually dual-wielding pistols. This Tomb Raider doesn't dual-wield pistols. She just picks them up in a after-credit scene or something and says, I'll take 2. And it's like, no, sorry, this is Lara Croft. You give me dual-wielding pistols right now. But honestly, if you want like the quintessential Tomb Raider, go play the reboot PC games. Seriously, if you lot have not played the Tomb Raider PC reboot games and you like Tomb Raider, then what is wrong with you? Because you need to play these games. They're so good. Actually, I probably can show. Yeah, it's not showing the audio and that, but it should be showing what's going on. But this Tomb Raider game was fantastic. I mean, the graphics were fantastic. The actress, the voice actress playing this Lara, is really, really good. But the story is really good as well. It's got good action, good tombs, good puzzles. By the time it's the end, she started off as a relative newbie, and by the end, she's a badass. It's like, I really love these games. These, hands down, the best Tomb Raider games out there. And for some reason, I don't hear enough buzz about them. It's like, come on, they're awesome. You gotta play these games. Other than that, I'm going through Disenchantment Season 3 at the moment. Pretty average, a bit like the other two seasons, really. It's just not funny enough. Lucy's funny, but the rest of the characters aren't. And I watched WandaVision recently, and that was weird. I don't know what to make of that. I'm not a fan of 50 sitcoms, the style they were doing for the first couple of episodes. It was really cringeworthy, but it's building up to something cool. And I'm basically going to keep watching it because I'm a Marvel fanboy, but they've got to wow me. They've got whatever this payoff is has got to be good. Because if it's not, I'm going to be annoyed. What do we got there? Okay. I don't mind more than 10 seconds. All right, this is in relation to mine and Alex's video. Well, like I say, Alex ran over 10 seconds on a few of his summaries. I didn't care. I wanted to hear his thoughts. What do we got then? Kabuki and Jimwa. I've already mentioned about the AI PMP deck for Prager Caput Regni. I will try it. Have you heard of the Steam game World of Horror? It's similar to the Arkham Horror LCG. Well, as we've got Steam open, why don't I have a quick gander for that? So what's it? World of Horror. Never heard of it. Okay, so is this like an indie game, a black and white? Experience the quiet terror of this one-bit love letter to Junji and H.P. Lovecraft. Navigate a hellish roguelike reality with turn-based combat and unforgiving choices. Experiment with your deck of event cards. So is this a card game or an adventure game? I don't entirely know, but I mean, it's got some weird stuff going on. I don't know if it would scare me enough when it's a one-bit game, but it's definitely got that weird factor. And apparently it's early access. I've not heard of it, but I personally can't see that I'm going to go mad for this. I mean, I would love a good Arkham Horror game, a proper Arkham PC game that's good, but sadly we haven't had one yet. Hey. It's difficult to create an AI for board game that reacts to the current state of the board. For example, if any of the players had occupied the central tile and moved towards attack their base. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I don't know how you could do an AI properly. There we go. I prefer numbers of several games with misprinted pips, half pips on dice. Yeah, exactly. Pips will wear off quicker than numbers will. Whoop. I know. It jumped ahead. I think the AI in Churchill is talked about as amazingly effective. I haven't played with it, though, so I'm just going by what I've heard. I've not used it either. I played Churchill once a long time ago at a local convention. I didn't have any other choice. I had to play something, and it wasn't the first game I'd want to do because I'm not a big World War II history fan. But, I mean, the game was okay. I played as England, I think. I played as Britain, and I basically spent all my time messing around with the agendas or political side of things. I pretty much ignored the war side of it, and I can't remember. I think I won. Oh, no. The guy who owned the game won because clearly he had an advantage and knew what he was doing. But I came second and came decent. So I reckon I did quite well. But it's not a game I'd want to play for another 4 to 5 hours or however long that took. It was a bit ridiculous. Fatal Paprika, thanks for joining. Kate Parker, thank you. Oh, hello. Have you heard of this game, Korra, Rise of an Empire? Korra, Rise of an Empire. Can't say that I have, but let's see. Let's have a look. Let's get off this weird mask face here. So what did you call it? You called it Korra. Rise of an Empire. So is this a Kickstarter? No, can't say that I have. Oh, Yellow Games. Yellow Games haven't put anything out for a while, to my knowledge. And they tend to do very nice-looking family-weight games. All right, okay. Re-implements improvement of the Polis. Never even heard of that one. Develop your city-state faster than your opponents. Wait, 4.4 out of 5? No, that's got to be like random ratings by people. There's no way Yellow would put out a game with a weight rating of 4. That's not going to happen. You are the ruler of a resplendent city in ancient Greece. It's up to you to develop it faster. You can make political choices in philosophy, legislation, culture, trade, military, the usual. Optimize your dice rolls. So this can't be a weight 4 if it's got dice rolls. Collect taxes, send your army. Well, I don't know. It sounds quite involved. No reviews found. So the designers sound like I don't recognize them. David Chapelet and Jacqueline Jock. Doesn't look like he's done anything. So this looks like new people. Oh, wait, I'm clicking on the artist. That's why, you moron. Headquarters Simulation Club. What? Nobody even knows the designers. Okay, so this is completely unheard of. And no images either. Okay, that description sounded cool. I'll give it that. And it's Yellow. I've got good faith in Yellow. It's been a while since I've seen anything from them that I would class as great or collection worthy. But you piqued my interest, but this looks like it's way too early days to comment on it much more than that. Where do you go? What do you think about game boxes getting bigger and bigger lately? Is this some reaction to Board Game Ramblings video where they talked about box sizes? But yeah, you're right. They are getting a bit ridiculous lately, aren't they? In fact, I'm going to keep this coffee near me. It's getting cold. Yeah, it is mad. But I mean, well, put it this way. The main reason a lot of them are getting big is just because it's Kickstarter and they're giving you a million stretch goals. I mean, if I put all my Tainted Grail stuff over there in one thing, then it would be basically like take up a Calyx shelf by itself. But then I'd rather have a bigger box that fits everything in than a smaller box that doesn't. Like, I mean, I've just recently acquired Merv just to try the solo mode out because nobody will come and play with me. Thank you, COVID. But I haven't got COVID. It's just we're in lockdown. Nobody wants to go anywhere. But there's a solo mode in this I found, so I'm hoping to do. But notice the box size. This is like Stronghold size old boxes, you know, Osprey Games now doing it. And thin boxes usually mean that packing it into the box will be a pain in the neck. That's what I'm a little bit concerned about. But then, yeah, some Kickstarters do get ridiculous. Like, let me put it this way, and this is going to take a little bit of, shall we say, thing. See this? Ooh. This is the Anachrony Kickstarter that I got ages ago, right? It's got the sleeve on it. It's huge. I mean, my face is here for good measure. But this is empty at the moment, apart from the insert that I've took out. Let's see if I can get the infinity box on this camera. Alrighty, come on. Oh God, this is going to be heavy. Oh God, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Ow, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Right. You like? Yeah. Yeah. You see, this is a wee bit bigger than most boxes. I mean, this holds the base set and the expansion, but yeah, this was a bit of a change in box size. And man, this is heavy. I'm putting this down. But yeah, they're getting a little bit ridiculous these days, and most of the time it's because Kickstarter is throwing too much stuff. I would like for there just to be a bit. Can we not just get some small games that are really good? Why does everything have to be? I mean, I gave you this, right? Valley of the Kings, standard as a set. Look at this, nice and small, right? And this is a 10 out of 10. This is one of my top 20 games of all time, and it's in a box this big. Tainted Grail is an 8 out of 10 for me. And it's in multiple boxes there, and it still has problems. Fields in the corner is on hold until they change the rule set in it. That was a lot of boxes, and I gave it a 5. You know, big box does not mean better game. But yeah, I agree. I do think it's a bit annoying that they are getting bigger and bigger. I think companies should be trying to make some smaller games, not skimp on quality, but maybe not every game has to be a million miniatures and a ton of plastic buildings and that. We can go smaller. You don't have an ugly face, dude. Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe that when my mum says it, so it's not going to work with everyone else. Not until I've got a girlfriend sitting next to me here anyway. That aside, what game coming out in 2021 are you most excited for? Well, I've gone over my Kickstarter pledges way too much lately. I mean, Frostpunk is definitely something I'm looking forward to. Kanban EV, when that eventually gets released. I mean, technically I've already played it, so that doesn't really count, but I'm looking forward to the reprint. I don't want to get too excited about some of the Kickstarters I've done. I mean, Great Wall is coming out soon. I suppose the main one I'm looking forward to soon is Sleeping Gods. In fact, this will give me a reason to share the screen again. I'll show you this one. Sleeping Gods is the near and far sequel, in a sense, for Ryan Lockett. It was meant to come out last year, and it's coming out this year. This is the next one in that line. And so you can see the gorgeous artwork. I mean, look at this. Tell me you aren't looking at these pictures. In fact, I know I need to get bigger pictures. Here we go. Just look at this artwork. This guy is a genius. I mean, he makes games that are 90% good. I mean, he hasn't made every single game. Not every one of his games has been great. But, I mean, I've yet to try Haven. Empires of the Void 2 is fantastic. Well, Empires of the Void in general was fantastic. Ancient World is pretty good. Near and Far, me and my friends have really enjoyed it. We are looking forward to this one. But look how gorgeous this is. I mean, the fact that he publishes designs and paints all this himself, this guy is a machine. But this is effectively like a cooperative campaign. Near and Far was technically competitive. This is a cooperative sailing and exploring campaign where you're going across, finding all these creatures, building up a ship's crew. Okay, that must be a promo one. And there's some demo pictures, so early artwork stages, but I'm on the same picture. That's why it's not going bad. But honestly, I can't wait for this. The only problem is that the group of friends I want to play this with, this was why we bought it, because we decided, look, we've had enough of campaigns because it took us nearly a year to get through the King's Dilemma because we couldn't meet up often and COVID spoiled everything. So I said to them, look, I'm not doing any more campaign games with you. All right. I'm going to bring games that can be played in one session. I'm going to teach you more games. Let's just do this and not have this commitment. And then Sleeping Gods. So this is our exception to the rule. The problem is we're in lockdown until late Feb. God knows what will happen after that, depending on vaccinations. So I don't want to get this game in late January, early Feb, and then be sitting on it for several months, unable to tell people about it because I'm waiting to play it with them. No, I'll have to play it solo. And that'll be annoying because it depends if the story is varied enough. If it's varied enough, then great. I can play it with the friends later and not be too bummed out. But if I figure out most of the plot twists, then I've got to play it with them and kind of shut up while I'm playing it. It's going to be a little bit weird, but I do want to play it. This is definitely one I'm looking forward to. So I hope it's got enough variety in the plot and story that I can play it multiple times and still have a good time. So definitely looking forward to that one. Yeah, ready? What do we got? Toy 2-player plus games with tons of replayability. Where can you build your character up and every game is different? Oh, you want a recommendation? 2-player plus games, tons of replay where we can build your character up and every game is different. I mean, well, Near and Far to an extent, but probably not enough variation in that. Curious on that one. I mean, where you build your character up, but yet every game is different. It's hard to say if there is such a thing as that, really. There's not one that's coming to mind. I suppose, I mean, Lord of the Rings, Journeys to Middle-earth, the campaign game there. That one, you build your character up as you go along through experience and improve their deck, but you've got lots of different scenarios. That's pretty good. Mansions of Mad... No, that's not... That wouldn't count. First Martians... Hard to say, really. 2-player plus games. I'm going to lend that one out to YouTube. Can YouTube help me out with that one? I'm a little bit unsure on that one, but let's see if we can get some suggestions in the chat for this person and so help them out. Interested in Ancient Aliens theme in Origins First Builder. I have no idea what Origins First Builder is. I have to admit, I've been so preoccupied with January tax stuff, I haven't really had a look at anything there. Although, what is it? Origins First Builder? Yeah, First Builders. Let's have a look. Get it on the screen. Leave your mark on history by guiding the most successful civilization. Okay, civilization game. From Board and Dice. Yeah, aren't they getting any attention lately? Zoomed in too much. I mean, it's a nice looking cover. I hope it's not just another. I mean, I suppose the thing is with Board and Dice is that they do these civilization sort of thematic setting games, but then the game isn't thematic. It's just a point salad dry Euro. So this one looks like it's going from a space civilization game. You will influence the construction of buildings and monuments, guide a population of your freemen, climb the zodiac temples. Oh yeah, we're going to be in this day and age, are we? What a surprise. At least it doesn't begin with T. That's a nice change. Okay, so visit an encounter site with workers, build up a city, build a tower. Seems interesting. I mean, that cover is pretty good. They do some pretty good games. Who's this designer? Adam, I can't even pronounce that surname. What's he done before? Designer of Heroes, Lords of Hellas, In Between, Nemesis, and Frostpunk. Okay, so I've not played Lords of Hellas, but I want to. Nemesis is pretty cool, but he's the one working on Frostpunk, is he? All right, well, I'd be interested to try this one to get an idea of what his designs are like, so I can get even more excited for Frostpunk. But I don't know. I mean, I like that theme. Theme sounds cool. I just hope it's thematic and not just a point salad Euro with a theme disguised on top of it. That's what I'm worried about when it comes to Board and Dice. WandaVision. Sounds like Wonder Woman. Going on. Disagree that the Jolie film was better, but this new one was only passable to me as well. I mean, to each their own. It's just a case of whether you wanted the cheesy version or the serious version. I just wanted the serious. I want the serious version, but I wanted a better plot in the serious version. Funny how Tomb Raider basically influenced Uncharted, and then when Tomb Raider rebooted, it cribbed from Uncharted. Possibly. I mean, I must admit, when I look at Uncharted, it looks pretty much the same thing, just with a bloke. I've never actually played any Uncharted games, though. I don't own a console, so I never played them. Love the Tomb Raider games. I've yet to play the third one. Definitely. Yeah, I'll say the third one is the weakest of the three, but that's like saying, oh, I've got 3 flavors of ice cream and strawberry is the third one. It's like, it's still ice cream. It's still delicious. So it's still going to be a good one. Welcome, John. Finally joining us. I guess it's got late enough in the day from our perspective. It's now early enough in the morning for you. Hooky Nook. Movie I've seen that I found not too many people heard about was Ironclad. Bit gory, but it's awesome and based on a historical event. Paul Giamatti is King John. Never heard of the film, but to be honest, as soon as I read the words based on a historical event, I tuned out. Like I say, I just don't go really for historical movies, historical games, unless they win me over with something else. But it's like, theme-wise, it's just like, yeah, whatever. It's like I've seen enough films or I've seen enough stuff where it's all about some random king in the past. We got that one. Welcome, Lillian. Welcome, Karen Hunt. Really enjoyed your collaboration with Alex. Thank you. I'm glad that got a lot of positivity back. I mean, it's still trying to generate the views, but for a video that's an hour and 3/4 long, I am surprised it's getting a lot of buzz. Now, is that because I'm in it or because Alex is in it? Probably more the latter. But, I had a good time doing it. It was fun. We chatted about a lot of games, 30 plus games in that one video. And it was his idea. He basically said he got influenced by how I rate games, like my bluntness, tell it how it is. And so his idea to do a 10-second review type thing. But I always said to him, look, can we do something in the future collaboration wise? And so he came up with the idea and we figured, why not? So we're doing the 2 parts. Next part will be on his channel, Board Game Co. And, will be another 30 games, except he'll be firing them at me. I have no idea what games he's picked. We literally only crossed over 3 times, apparently. So I chucked 30 games at him, only crossed over 3 times. So I wonder, and I covered a lot of mainstream games there. So I'm curious as to what 30 he's picked out for me. But I'm going to do my best to keep to the 10-second timer and should be good fun again. But nah, I want to do more of these collaborations, get some creators on and do discussions, top 10s. I mean, there's a series I'd love to do actually, but I need to do some research. I want to do discussions on designers where I can say, here's a designer. What do we think of him? What's his style like with games? Here's some good examples. Here's some bad examples, because every designer has made a bad game at some point. And just basically do a quick discussion with somebody who's also had experience with that designer's games. And I just thinking that would be quite a nice little back and forth chat. But it's the main reason I want to do these collaborations is I'm going insane for the fact that I'm in isolation. Believe me, it's driving me nuts. But also, I'm trying to make up for the one there's several weaknesses I've got as a channel compared to some other channels that are trending lately. It's like, oh, I'm just some other, random dude from the UK, whoopee-doo. It's like I blend in with the normal crowd. There's nothing diverse about me apart from the fact that I'm from Somerset and I drink cider, whoopee-doo. But the thing with the big weakness I have is that it's just me. A lot of channels that do very well have got two people, and I haven't got that facility here. So to make up for the fact that I can't have two people in my reviews and all that lot, I want to do these collaborations with other channels so that we can have two people at least, if not three or four even, like on screen chatting about stuff. Dice Tower's 4 Square reviews are really good, with 4 of them talking about with different perspectives, and I want to get that across as well, because I feel like I suffer as a channel because I can't get somebody to bounce off. But I'm glad people are enjoying that collaboration. I hope it continues to get the views and do well. I hope the second episode does all well as well. I hope you lot tune in to watch the top 10 that I'll be doing early Feb, probably with Board Game Ramblings. That's still in the works, but I definitely want to look at more collaborations sooner rather than later. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Emily, to you as well. Yes, your questions did prompt some good discussion, John. You'll have to watch the rerun because I pretty much tackled them first. There's some interesting comments about the AI bit. That was the most confusing one of the 3, but pretty quick answers for the other 2. Is it? How do I pronounce that? Deadlands or Dead Hands? Is that Dead Hands? I'm not entirely sure, but Dead Hordes? Deed Hordes? How do I pronounce that with the 3 and the 4 in there? But evening to you, and don't worry about being late. You're here. These streams go on for ages. I tried to say, I'll just do an hour. No, I end up talking for like an hour and a half in these by the time I get to the bottom of the chat. And, people can watch reruns. It's perfectly fine when you turn up. After all, we've all got precious time. Does will Bonfire change your opinion on failed games? Well, probably not, because the only failed game I've even sort of liked was Amerigo. I used to have it in the collection when I first started, and then my tastes in games developed to a point where I figured out, all right, this is what I like and what I don't like. But yeah, I'm not the biggest failed fan, it has to be said. So I don't expect this one game to suddenly convince me. I've not even played it, but the thing is, I don't know if I want to play it because it's failed. I mean, look at this game. Let me get this on the screen here. Board Game Ramblers and a few others go mad for this, and I've seen my friends go mad for this as well. Bonfire, 830 ranked. Cover looks quite cool. But as soon as I read the word Stefan Feld, I know that whatever I see in terms of art, cover, and theme means nothing, because it never does. But I look at this and I go, it's colorful, but my God, that looks like a busy board. Busy boards everywhere. It just looks like a minefield of fiddliness. But it's just colored cubes and a few colored bits everywhere. This strange little polyomino pattern there with little markers and that. It looks chintzy as all get out. But I can tell just by looking at that, the theme means nothing. And it's a failed game, so of course it will mean nothing. But then reading everything else here. So, the bonfires are sources of light, energy, and warmth created by the Guardians of Light in order to brighten the cities on the otherwise dark planet. You are trying so hard to make this a thematic game, it's unreal. Disappointed the Guardians of Light retreated, and at the bonfires, you are a group of gnomes. I bet you will not even realize you're a gnome in this game. 3 colored tiles, you're puzzling on your board. It may be all right mechanically, but every single failed game I play just bores me. The guy's lovely. And people like his games. Go and like the game. Go and play them if that's what you want. But for me, they just never entice me. I play them and I just go, meh, another Euro. Yay. Another reason to get victory points by a bizarre combination of mechanics and usually I find them just quite fiddly in like Feld's case, but I'll try it. I've always said I'll play any game once. All right. So if somebody wants to teach me Bonfire, I'll play it. But I'm not expecting it to suddenly change my opinion on Feld. Because even if I play this game and go, oh, it's fantastic, it's like I was wrong about my impressions of Bonfire. I think it's a brilliant game. It's not going to suddenly make me change my opinion on Feld games. It would just mean that, oh, well, there's one game that I love by him. It's not going to be a game changer, no pun intended, but I'll try it. If somebody wants to teach me, I'll try it. I'm just not going to hunt it down. All right. I've yet to try Merv. Ditto on that. I've been so caught up with work and other things. Did you hear that Slay the Spire is getting a board game? I did. Although, I'm sorry, but just come over here a sec. I've not actually played Slay the Spire. I'm sorry, I haven't. I've heard of it. I haven't even looked at it. I hear it's a deck builder. Is that what it is? A card game deck builder? I'm not entirely sure. I literally have not even tried it. So I just haven't had time to look at it. At some point I will, but maybe the closer we get to having a board game, I might visit it. But yeah, I just haven't had time. Coffee is getting a bit cold. There we go. Get that down me. So I've heard about it, and some people are getting excited for it, but then some people are getting a little bit wary. They're curious as to whether it will translate to a board game. But I know nothing about it. I'm sorry. Gaines. I'm sad to have to part with the Meeple reality insert. You're talking about the Anachrony box. Yeah, that insert's there. I mean, I might try and sell the box off, because there may be somebody out there who has normal Anachrony, has no interest in the Infinity box, but would like the insert from this and the big KS box. So I don't know. I might see if anybody wants it on the internet, but very doubtful it will have any value. It's merely huge. It's incredibly huge. Gloomhaven or Dun size. It looks like, yeah, that's a Gloomhaven size box down there. Except in this case, there's a good game inside. Ooh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Who needs to go to the gym when they can carry their Kickstarter boxes around? Fair point. The problem is I can't get any exercise at the moment. I can barely go running twice a week because of time and legs and the fact it's freezing out there. I mean, I don't like running that much. I just do it because I have to. I'd rather be at the gym, but I'm not allowed at the gym. Gyms won't be open for at least another month and a half. So I just can't get any exercise. I mean, muscles are probably like, there's like drooping skin from every like arm and leg I've got. My belly feels like I'm pregnant. It's getting ridiculous. Home workouts are not good enough to burn the calories off. I'm trying to make certain that my diet's good to make up for it. But, I like my beer, I like my cider, I like my wine. When it's a game night on Tabletop Simulator or if it's movie night, I like to have an alcoholic beverage. But I am trying to watch the calories. And I've got HelloFresh going at the moment on a discount rate for January. And I'm obviously calorie controlling myself for that. But I just can't get the exercise. A home workout of doing 100 push-ups and a bunch of sit-ups and a circuit training and that. I mean, it might make me, break a sweat or at least, make me hot or tired. But in my front room and all that, it's just not the same. I need to go back to the gym. I need to go back to the gym really badly. Although I must admit, considering how heavy that box was, maybe doing squats with that would be better. Because, doing own body weights is not good enough. What's better? Doing 20 squats just up, down, or doing 20 squats with 30, 40 kilogram bar on your shoulders? Clearly the latter. That's not 30 to 40 kilograms, but still heavy. Some of the best games come in smaller boxes. Tiny Epic Galaxies is still one of my favorites. Well, sorry, it's one of your favorites, John. It's by no means one of mine, no way. I never really latched onto the Tiny Epic games. It just seemed too much of a gimmick. Not sure why so many people are upset about big book games. Just don't buy it. I mean, yeah, true. I mean, I don't see a reason to be upset by it. If you don't want it, but then if the game's really good, but the thing that's putting you off is the fact that the box is big and you can't store it, then did it need to be a big box? Official version of Merv is on Tabletop Simulator, by the way. Welcome, Rocket. Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, I mean, I saw it a while back, and I just never got around to trying it out. But main reason I got this is because, like I say, Zatu sponsors the channel a little bit each month, so I use it to basically get some games that I would like to do reviews on and that. And I figured that yes, I want to play it on Tabletop Simulator with multiplayer, but at least I now have another means of playing it solo while actually handling tactile components. And if the game's really good, it'll be good to have it on my shelf for when lockdown ends. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this one. It should be interesting. But yeah, I can play it on Tabletop Simulator or this. So either way, I'm happy. I mean, if I didn't have Tabletop Simulator, I think I would have gone insane by now. But I just don't get a lot of time to play a lot of games on there because every game on Tabletop Simulator takes at least 30, 45 minutes longer than playing the game in real life. You can't. It may be easier to do it online, but it's not quicker. Have you tried any of the Button Shy games? I have no idea what Button Shy is. Button Shy games? With a small publisher based in Canada? Where are they based? South Jersey. So US, I'm guessing. Re-release wallet games. So pockets. All right, so this is a bit like what the Paco Games did with the gum size stuff. So small box games. Okay. I mean, I have not tried. Oh no, I've tried Sprawlopolis once. I tried that one once, and I thought that was okay. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I thought for what size it was and the fact that it was better. I think I played it multiplayer, which is a problem because I hear the solo is much better. But yeah, I mean, for the game for $12, I'd say go for it. I have no idea what these other four are. Circle the Wagons, Tussie Mussy. I mean, let's have a look at Tussie Mussy. That sounds interesting. Elizabeth Hargrave. Oh, the same designer as Wingspan? There's the Wingspan designer, isn't it? Yeah. Famous authors utilize the meaning of flowers. Okay, it's going to be a little card game. I don't care about the theme here, but yeah, Wingspan designer Elizabeth Hargrave. I was right. And Beth Sobel, artist. Yeah, I've heard of her. So we got featuring I Split You Choose drafting. Players draw 2 cards and offer one face up and another face down to their neighbor. Neighbor takes their choice and the active player receives the other. After everyone has 4 cards, face down are revealed and everyone scores their collection. Okay, I mean, I like the I Split You Choose mechanic. I mean, Hanami Koji. Oh, yeah. If you're still here, whoever was asking for 2-player card games, Hanami Koji. If you have not played Hanami Koji, that is a 2-player card game you need to get now. So I only just remembered that. How can I forget Hanami Koji? So good. And while you're at it, same publisher, Walking in Burano. Get that as well. But I mean, this could be good. I mean, it's just that description didn't sound like there was much to the game in terms of actual tactics or anything. It just sounded very basic. But, I mean, Elizabeth Hargrave wowed me with Wingspan. There's a solo expansion for it. And I like the I Split You Choose. I mean, I would try these. I'd be interested to try these. If I had a bunch of these, I wonder, where are they based? They're based in the US. It would cost a lot of money for them to ship to Europe, especially with our Brexit thing at the moment. But well, maybe I'll get in touch with them and see if they. I mean, maybe I'll see if there's any in sale in the UK and grab a few because it'd be easy enough to buy them. I mean, it'd be cheap enough, even with my limited funds. But if they would want me to do some review copies for some of these games, I'd give it a try. If they've got solo modes in it, I could probably do these. I'd be interested to try them out. But all right, yeah, thanks for the heads up. Button Shy Games. Okay, I need to remember that one. We got. Am I going to do a 2021 anticipated list? Not really, because I don't tend to look too far forward in terms of board games. I'm more a case of I prefer to have them sort of just arrive rather than like think too far. Because the problem is you then get into hype and then it gets too hyped up and then you get the game and then you're disappointed and that happens. Fields was a classic example. However, I've already done a sort of a bit of an anticipated list. I did it on my channel. So hang on a minute. If I can find my YouTube studio and get into there, I can show you which video it was. It was it 2021 for better or worse, or looking back and ahead? I've got a feeling it was this one, episode 16. talk about some channel updates, my life in general, 2 reviews, and yes, give my thoughts as to what I'm looking forward to. So yeah, 39 minutes, anticipated games. I also did a review of the expansion for Seven Wonders Duel and New York Zoo, as well as some plans for Portal Card and like online stuff. So that was my podcast. So my podcast episode. So you haven't listened to it on the RSS feed, you can check out this video on YouTube. But yeah, I did talk about some anticipated games I had. So that is effectively my anticipated list. It's not a top 10. It's just me talking about a bunch of games that I like. And how many views has that got? Oh, that is starting to shoot up in views. It was only about 1,400 this a few hours ago. That's cool. Happy to see that is getting popular. Okay. Have I played Fallen Lands? Second edition is currently on Kickstarter. Fun post-apocalyptic game. I feel like we've exhausted that theme, but I own the first edition, so I'm just getting expansion upgrade pack. Honestly, I don't know. Fallen Lands. Let's have a look. Fallen Lands BGG. That doesn't ring a bell. Is it called Fallen Land as opposed to Fallen Lands plural? Because this is what's coming up when I do a search for it. Literally like Fallen Land, a post-apocalyptic board game. I mean, it doesn't look like there's one called Fallen Lands, apart from Conquest of the Fallen Lands, which I'm assuming that's not what you were doing. So this must be the first edition, and so second edition obviously must be the reprinted version. Hybrid game, strategy board game, card building, role-playing, macabre stories, variables change, player interaction stories, Cold War studies. Okay, I mean, this is the first edition, so I'm not going to expect. I mean, the premise sounds cool. Some card play might be cool. I mean, surviving in a post-apocalyptic world, but man, does that board look horrible. That board looked absolutely horrible. So I'm going to have a look at the Kickstarter version and see if that can entice me a bit more. So is this the one? Fallen Land, that can't be it, can it? That's already been played. Oh, that was ages ago. Now that's still the first edition. Here we go. Fallen Land, second edition, big box. So, okay, so post-apocalyptic board game, second edition. Enough of the tagline. It doesn't need a post-apocalyptic board game. We can tell it's post-apocalyptic in a board game just by looking at a picture. Taglines are stupid. Stop putting them on your games, publishers. 1 to 6 players sandbox adventure game. Okay, that sounds better. I can't say that board looks any more enticing. No, I mean, it just looks a very bland board. But the artwork and the component... Ugh. Is that the first... That is... Ew, dirty. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff in it, and the premise sounds good, and organizer trays is good. Tokens and chips. I mean, this is a Kickstarter. I mean, go nuts. They could have updated some of the cards, though. I mean, I'm glad that they've put a damn sight more cards in the original version, but they've still used pretty much the same artwork. If you're putting this on Kickstarter, can't you, like, hire a new artist and get some decent artwork on here? Because what have they basically done? So they've added more cards, made the box bigger, added a little bit to the map, put organizers, good, and updated the rules. Okay, cool. It's a small indie game company, so I suppose I'm being a little bit too harsh here with the component quality in that, because of course an indie board game company can only do so much. Maybe the game's good. I don't know. That board isn't exactly selling it to me, but a sandbox adventure game? I mean, I'd try something like that. I mean, I would try this. I would play it if someone was to show me it, but never heard of it before now, and it's certainly not going to wow me enough to Kickstarter. I mean, how much is this asking for? That's expansion. So to get the whole lot, so big box core set and stretch goals would cost me £66. It's not bad, actually, although that's also got to include US shipping, I suspect, on top from US to UK, which will probably cost a packet for a game that big. Oh, wait, that's just the core set. Oh, right, so I've won the expansion as well. That's £87. Yeah, I can't see myself spending this kind of money for this game, but I don't know. I would try it, if nothing else. Oh, every time I sort of spin down on the wheel on my mouse, it seems to go all the way down. Right, here we go. Lol likes Tom Vassell said it took his kids 6 hours to get all that arranged. What you mean, the Oh, what, the Infinity Box? Oh, is that what they did? I didn't know Tom had already done that. When did he mention that? But yeah, I can imagine it took me a good 2.5 hours. And that was, bear in mind, I had to get out of that box first and shove it on the air. And I had Angry Joe on my iPad in the background and trying to listen to that while trying to do this. It's like, although it was more relaxing than doing any video editing that day, I can tell you. I've been wasting so much time on the video editing trying to go, oh, I could try this new intro and try this new outro. But the problem is they take ages for me to do. And then sometimes I scrap the idea because I think, yeah, it just probably works better with the old one. I'm so obsessed with having some nice tune somewhere and nice intros and that, when really I don't need to bother, because let's face it, most other channels don't. But that sucks up time. At least I'm up to date with it now. And good, because I need to get the next video edited, which is top 10 Portal games, which is a little surprise for Ignasti that I'm doing for PortalCon. So I need to get that edited and uploaded before Saturday. And Saturday I'll have the live keynote seminar stream that I'm doing. Well, his YouTube says 3 o'clock. He told me 3 o'clock CEST, Central European Standard Time. So that means 1 o'clock British Standard Time. So I'm a bit confused as to whether it's 1 o'clock my time or 3 o'clock my time. But all I can say is keep an eye on my thumbnail for that thing, and then I will update it if the time changes. But I've asked him to clarify. There we go. Oof. Oh, I seem to have gone back too far. Here we go. So it. He said it's decaf in a mug. Had to grind it at hand, but hyperspeed. Yeah, that's. I had to go mad for that grinder. Ironclad is about a handful of people and Templars held up in a castle, taking on the whole English army. Again, this is just not a theme I would care about. Yeah, your Somerset's a little different from my Somerset, I think. I mean, we're not, you have used that joke before, but you're not twinned with our Somerset. You know, you are not a nation of farmers that drink cider. Although I did have somebody who came to my 6 weeks, he and a friend, 2 people from America. They were traveling over for work, and they came to my Portsmouth Game Club about August last year. This was when I could get 6 of us together indoors with lockdown rules. But they came along and we got talking about cider, and apparently America has cider, not to mention some half decent cider, apparently. Another reason for me to come back to the States at some point when this is all blown over, because I would certainly like to see what your American cider is like. Just don't expect me to like it any more than the Somerset cider here, because you just can't beat the home county cider. Does anyone from your board game crew ever want to join you for a collaboration? To be honest, I've not asked majorly, but whenever I've said I'm recording TTS footage and stuff like that, they've generally asked me, like, you're not recording our voices or anything like that, are you? And it's like, no, it's B-roll footage. But I don't think I know anybody who would be willing to come on to the show and do it. And even then, I'd be a little bit concerned because, I mean, especially during COVID, it'd be impossible. But I mean, I suppose if they stream it from home, it's fine. They couldn't come here and do it because we'd be a bit squished on the screen. But I mean, if they want to, if somebody from my game club wanted to come on and chat about something, then I probably would. But I can't see anybody I know wanting to do a regular thing with it. It's Dead Hands. All right, sorry. I thought it might be Dead Hands, but I just wasn't entirely sure. Need to revisit Slay the Spire. Lots of people saying it's pretty good. The carry game boxes and manually grind coffee workout plan. Seriously, I think I get more arm workouts from my coffee grinder, but that's when I'm only having decaf coffee. I got so annoyed several times a day grinding manual coffee for work that I bought an electric coffee grinder that's downstairs that handles all my caffeinated coffee. So that bit's not having to get a workout for. Red Cathedral is a good euro in a small box. I know very little about this game, but like I say, it's not one that's had a lot of buzz to my knowledge. Did you hear about the Terraforming Mars card game? Think it is just going to be a cash grab? Let me have a look before I go too rash on that decision. But my inkling is yes. I think this is a massive cash grab. Let's see, what was it called? It's getting a card game spin-off. Here we go. Let's go on to Dicebreaker's site. Ares Expedition. A standalone card game, Ares Expedition. Why is Rodney Smith's video on there? Because that's not even the same game, but never mind. Re-implementing the engine building gameplay mechanics for players once again, blah, 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 blah. Same thing as that. So 200 cards, potentially addressing the criticism aimed at the quality of Terraforming Mars visuals. What, you mean that the Terraforming Mars visuals were crap? is that the criticism you mean? It's like, I'm sorry, but... Oh, hang on, I got the... there we go. It's better. But yeah, you mean the bad visuals of Terraforming Mars? Yeah, how about you address those? But said to play in 45 minutes to an hour with up to 4 people as well as in the solo mode. Well, to be honest, Terraforming Mars should have taken 45 minutes to 90 minutes to begin with. It's a drafting game that you rinse, repeat ad nauseum. It should have been a 90-minute game already, and yet it goes on for 2.5 to 3 hours. It's like, that's already too long. So I'm glad this one is shorter, but this basically just, I don't know, is this literally going to be the same game, but without the board? If so, it does feel like a little bit of a cash grab. But then again, artwork, something that Terraforming Mars badly needs. Faster gameplay, something that Terraforming Mars badly needs. So if this gives me a similar drafting feel to Terraforming Mars, like the bits that I do enjoy from that game, but manages to curb the time length and improve the visuals, you know what? Maybe this could be the Terraforming Mars for me. I'll certainly give it a look. I mean, I will be definitely interested to try this one out, but I'm curious as to the decision-making behind doing it. I can tell you it's going to get all the hype. Everyone's going to go mad for it just because it's got the words Terraforming Mars in it. Button Shy, Sprawlopolis, and Circle the Wagons are their big games. I don't recognize Circle the Wagon, but yeah, I do know Sprawlopolis. What do you make of the trio of games on Kickstarter released by Cool Mini or Not? To be honest, I barely look at Cool Mini or Not at the moment because ever since Rising Sun was the last thing I bought from them, and even then I kind of regret that. Not because Rising Sun's a bad game. It's a really good game, love it, but I spent way too much money on it because they just rip you off like crazy. And ever since then, I've not seen Cool Mini or Not put out anything remotely worth it. Now, what trio are you referring to here? The Time Machine? Oh, I see. Is this the Time Machine thing? Let's have a look. Rediscover Rising Sun, Green Horde, and Hate with digital soundtracks and... Huh? Is this just basically a... Oh, this is just a soundtrack thing. This isn't what you're on about. Nah, this is something else. Or is it? Wait a minute. Rising Sun Pledge? Pledge, so you can. So this is for the games. So you can get Hate, Zombicide, Green Horde, and Rising Sun for... Oh my word. Any combination of... Jesus! $682. Are you friggin' kidding me? That is ridiculous. I mean, yes, it's for free games, all but seriously, people, you don't need to spend this kind of money on games. They're not even... I mean, Rising Sun's a really cool game, but it's certainly not for everybody. Zombicide is just Zombicide. We've had it about 20 times, and they've already got Zombicide Space Invader, or whatever it was called, which, in my opinion, is probably the best of the Zombicides. So this is a weaker Zombicide you're getting. And Hate, did anyone play Hate? I'm not aware anybody even gave a monkeys about Hate. Would I want to spend $264 on it? Oh, man, I don't care if you give me art book or some soundtracks for it. I mean, I play Arkham Horror LCG, but Lord of the Rings LCG or Journeys to Middle-earth, I put on the soundtrack from the movies. Arkham Horror LCG, I can literally load up YouTube and find a playlist that goes on for an hour and a half of spooky Arkham music. Superheroes, I will put on the Avengers soundtrack, or various stuff like that. I don't need specialized soundtracks made for me. It just with maybe the one exception if Ryan Lockett does one for Sleeping Gods, because his wife, I forget, she's a piano player, I think. She's definitely an instrument player. And I have heard some of the music she does, and she is really good. So actually, that would be the one exception. But, no, don't expect me to go anywhere near this. No. Bad. Bad Cool Mini or Not. Bad. Beth Sobel did some Wingspan art. Oh, okay. So, well, in that case, it will look beautiful then. Oh, not the bird art. So what other artwork was there? Oh, did she do the artwork for the boards? That's really nice. Yes, I see. Hello, Lebon. Thank you. Oop, got it. It's gone down again. Oh, I think I'm getting near to the end. This is good. Are you going to review Nidavella this year? There's been no plan to. I don't know a ton about it, but I mean, it's a 2-player only game, I think. And the problem is, 2-player games are very difficult for me to get to the table. I'm not aware if it's even got a TTS mod for it, but it's hard enough for me to get the solo games out with the time I've got at the moment. It's just impossible for me to get a 2-player only game out. How do you spell it anyway? Needy Valor or something. Needy Valor. I mean, dwarfs, Vikingy dwarfs, Dragony Vos. I mean, it sounds an okay setting, but oh, wait a minute. It says 2 to 5 players. I thought it was a 2-player only game. Okay, let's go on to it here. Serge Leger, he does some pretty decent stuff. It's a bid, scoring, meticulous recruitment. I'll have to look this one up. I don't know much about it because I ignored it because I thought it was just a 2-player game because people keep asking, I need a 2-player game. Shall I just get Nidavella? And so, I might have to look this one up, but I'm not sold on it with the whole bidding thing. So I wouldn't expect a review from me on this one, but maybe if I get a chance to play it, I'd do a first impressions or something. It's not on my list though. What do we got? Some descriptions of the Fallen Land. Yeah, bigger box. That should sell well. Yep, let's enjoy it. If you want to see a horrible board, take a look at Blue Skies. It seems the gameplay is solid, but who wants to still play games looking like spreadsheets in 2021? Oh, I got to see this. You have, I've seen things like the original Brass board from 2013. That looked horrible. Anything by Splotter Games looked god-awful on a board. Most of the Age of Steam stuff, looks horrible. I mean, I don't care if Ian O'Toole does half of the artwork now. I mean, let's face it, it's not difficult to do artwork for green. That's pretty much what it is. Let's see, Blue Skies. Fight for dominance in the newly regulated US airline industry in 1979. How much do you not want to go to dinner with the guy who considered that was the theme of his game? Seriously, I nearly fell asleep reading that. Do I care about the airline industry in 1979? Probably not. I mean, what are you going to say about it? What was special about 1979 when it came to the US planes? US government deregulated the airline industry, opening it to competition in terms of fares. You represent a new airline, but you have an entire country open to you. Where will you set up shop? Oh God, this is giving me food chain magnate vibes. This is not good. A bag that initially has cubes. That's not looking good. Oh my, what the? Is that it? That's the game? That's the board? Are you kidding me? Oh, God. Ew. I need to wash my hands after watch. I need to wash my eyes out. Oh, that can't be right. I mean, the cover wasn't exactly selling it to me, but that's horrible. It's basically, you're exactly right. It's spreadsheet the game. I mean, you can't even give me little plastic planes. Airlines Europe has better looking components and boards than this does. And Airlines Europe came out, like 20 years ago or something? How long did that come out? Why am I loading up a new tab? Let's load up. Take that away. I never want to see it again. Airline Europe. Yeah, Airlines Europe came out 8 out of 10. I really like it. It's in my collection actually in the other room. One of the few stock sort of games I like. Came out 2011. Okay, so not terribly long ago. But I mean, yeah, that's got better looking board and components than that Blue Skies did. It's not exactly the Ritz, but looks fine for what type of game it is. But that was 2011. 2021, and you're going to try and give me that? No. Wrong. Bad publisher. What do we got? Love sandbox games. Yeah, I mean, Western Legends. Pretty much any sandbox game I will try at least. I mean, I haven't even played Zaya not played that one because the fact that it sounds like it's really random and really long puts me off, but I would try it. Come on, let's see if we can get to the end of this before an hour and a half. You have to remove something from complete existence to save the planet. Which do you choose, dice or meeples? Meeples. Dice can be seasons like dice, seasons, big boulder dice. Dice can be really cool. At least you get to chuck them. Anything can represent a meeple. Even if I have to use a cube or something, I would live with it. But yeah, you're going to need dice. So that would be it. Just watched Angry Joe's Cyberpunk review. Yep, that was pretty funny, actually. The sketch where... was it? The sketch where other Joe comes in. He's like... the guy at the counter says, like, we can play out an event for you based on your sensual heart's desires, and it killed itself. It's like he's talking about the AI killed itself rather than give the simulation that his mate wanted. I thought that was just brilliant writing. That was hilarious. But yeah, I like Angry Joe stuff. Doesn't BST run from March to October? To be honest, I think it does. I mean, honestly, I get mixed up with time zones. It does my head in. I mean, what do I call it? BST or GMT? I assume GMT here. I just want to say that at the moment it is 8:23 here. Is that GMT, BST? I don't know, but basically just our time. But it is a bit of a pain trying to get it to work. I guess maybe I should change all the thumbnails to say GMT, but is that wrong? I hate time zones. New Zealand has some nice cider too. Well, it probably does, and I would probably actually say I could imagine New Zealand would probably have some good cider, but getting there would be a problem. For now, I'll have to make do with the wine that I've got from New Zealand downstairs. If you want to get to good cider, go to Vermont Best Semi-Dry. Is that US, is it? Vermont, US? Let's have a quick look. I don't think I need to show this one, but yeah, US state. Shows how much I know about US geography. Northeastern state, New England. Does good cider, apparently. Noted, although Lord knows when I'll get a chance to go to the US. I mean, I want to go to the US again. I've been there 3 times, all as a kid or teenager, and all for Disney World, Florida. I've not actually been to the rest of the states and looked at the states properly, to actually explore proper United States, not just Florida. But I would certainly like to go to a convention, a Dice Tower Con or PAX Unplugged or something, but it's just the cost is prohibitive to get there, to pay for accommodation and for the flight and for the convention. It's a bit of a mission, especially if I'm only going for a few days in a week. I've got to travel all the way from UK for that. I'd have to spend 2 weeks in America to justify the trip. It would be a cost, but wouldn't say no to doing it one day, though. I would like to attend one of them, and if that's the case, then I can try some more of your food. I can certainly have some of your cider. Just try not to feed me too much calories if you can. Right. I actually live in Bath and Northeast Somerset. Oh, nice one, Karen. Good to meet a fellow West Country person. Let's see. I'll have a look at Core in my own time. I need to move on. Hello to you, Salt Heart Foam Follower. That is one of the most unique names I've ever come across on this channel. Wondering if it's hard cider that you're speaking of or just cider. We're in the States, have some very good hard cider. What's a hard cider specifically? I mean, I like sweets. Well, actually, I prefer medium cider as my favorite. Then I like dry and then sweet. Sweet can be a bit too sweet. But I like most ciders. I mean, whatever a hard cider is meant to be, I would try it. Honestly, you just put the word cider in front of it. I'm going to drink it. I thought you said you would not rag so much on games you didn't like. That's on Facebook. On my stream, my channel, my rules. So I said that I wasn't going to rag too much on games on Facebook and that because it's like, fine, let them enjoy it and stuff. But when it comes to my reviews or on my live stream, I make the rules. Therefore, what I say goes. Well, not gospel truth, but I get to say what I like because it's my stream. What do we got? Besides, if I didn't rag on some games I didn't like, that would defeat half my purpose of my channel. So that's what half the people like. It's in my nature. Yeah, probably true. Rising Sun is the one I basically went all in on. I skipped the playmat. I didn't. Yeah, and there's a very good playmat, but yeah, that's the last thing I bought from Cool Mini or Not. Cool Mini or Not animation collection. All right, well, let's have a look again. Cool Mini or Not animation collection. Is that what I was looking at, or something else? The animation collection. Pledge now. Oh, is this the? Oh, right. My apologies if I had the wrong. Hang on, I need to get the right tab on. Right. Oh, is this what you meant? Apologies if I got it wrong. Scooby-Doo the board game, Looney Tunes, and Teen Titans Go. Okay. I've not watched Teen Titans Go. I used to like Scooby-Doo. Now it's a bit cringy. And Looney Tunes are a laugh. But, I mean, the miniatures look cool. Is this just going to be like simple... it's going to be like simple family weight games with cool painted miniatures, which granted do look pretty sweet. I mean, it is pretty sweet, I have to say. But the problem is, I know what this is going to be the problem of. Miniatures, they look good. How much does this cost? Mayhem game of choice, plus its respective promos for $50? Is that it? Hang on, wait a minute, no. A Mayhem game of choice plus its respective promos. So Scooby is $80. $90 is the complete pledge. Okay, Scooby. The prices are kind of weird here. How does this work? I mean, Wacky Races. I don't think I played that one. The previous one that came out. Yeah, more Muttley. Okay. So weird combinations. I mean, granted, all right, I'll give them credit. This is the cheapest campaign I've ever seen them do. I mean, it's got cool nostalgic feels. These aren't my favorite shows, though. I was not the biggest Hanna-Barbera fan, so I never really watched too much Scooby-Doo. Looney Tunes is fine, but only some of the characters make me laugh. I mean, I could watch, Bugs Bunny's okay, but really, when it comes to laughter, I get the occasional slapstick out of Wile E. Coyote, slightly Sylvester, but I'd rather watch Tom and Jerry rather than Sylvester and Tweety. And I think the only major funny character that I like in Looney Tunes is probably Daffy Duck. And that's about it, really. And I suppose, what was he? Martian? The Martian or whatever? He was quite funny. I'm going to blow up the Earth. It obstructs my view of Venus. Oh, well. Interesting. Okay, I'll give it credit, but I'm not that phased. I'm not that fussed about it. Okay, what do we got? Yeah, Need Developer is not a two-player only game, as I have proved to myself. So I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up then. I thought it was only... Every time I heard about it, everyone kept referring to it as two-player. So maybe it's best at two, or maybe they were afraid it didn't work at two. I don't know. So I will look at it in more detail. I like a pretty game too, but I will stand for an 18x game. Get out of the stream. How dare you, 18xx. I like that one. That's good. I like that. I've seen more interesting boarding passes than Blue Skies. That's good. I like that one. Then he has to go and make it depressing. Yeah. Then again, I'd like to actually see a boarding pass in 2021. Hey, you and me both. You and me both. Let's see. Zyre is maybe my favorite of the Sandbox games. Love the freedom. To be honest, I'd like to try it. Somebody needs to show me it, but when am I ever going to get a chance to play it? Let's have a look. Whoop. Vermont, the first state after the original 13. My US history is not particularly great. I assume that's a big deal. We'll have to come and see you then, 2022 maybe. Please do. If you're going to come anywhere near Portsmouth way in the UK, then drop me a line. I'll happily invite you around. You can stay over. You can, cook some meals or something, play some games. It'd be good. Hard just means it has alcohol. Well, all cider, proper cider, has alcohol in it. Unless it's the weakling cider that decides to be non-alcoholic, and that's rare, or grape juice. I assume that, well, yeah, that kind of seems pointless to call it hard. Hard all cider I drink has alcohol. All beer I've got alcohol downstairs. You know, after this, I don't know what I'm going to do after the stream. I think I'm going to edit some more of the Portal Top 10 video. And then I've got a choice of trying out Prager solo on TTS, playing some video games like Deep Rock Galactic, continuing to watch Disenchantment Season 3 downstairs, Unwrap Merv, play Marvel Champions, because I've got the, the Wasp deck here. New Wasp character, who's like Ant-Man, so she... hang on. Come on. There we go. So she folds out into giant form, just like Ant-Man did. She looks like she packs a punch. I want to play a two-handed solo game of Wasp with Ant-Man and see what happens. So I've got a lot of choices about what to do tonight. We're going over an hour and a half, but let me get to the bottom at least. If it doesn't have alcohol, then it's apple juice. Yeah, too right. Cider without alcohol, wrong. Marvin the Martian, that's it. Yeah, I thought it was Marvin. Every time I think Marvin, I keep thinking that I'm getting mixed up with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but that's Marvin the paranoid android, isn't it? Because I swear he was also called Marvin. Looney Tunes are still my favorite cartoons, but you have to go with the old stuff. Yeah, definitely the old stuff. The older is better. Same goes for a lot of the Disney cartoon stuff. Is Pool close enough? I don't... Well, might be hard to have you stay over, depending on where you're going. Why are you going to Pool, of all places? But I don't see why that would be too problematic, because how far is Pool away? I mean, Pool's past Bournemouth. It is a distance. I mean, it would be up to you if you wanted to come all the way to me for that sort of reason. But what could do is I could come to Pool and we could just spend the day doing stuff. Maybe there's a board game cafe in Pool. I'm not sure. That would help. Or we could meet halfway. Southampton's got a board game cafe in it. I could get to Southampton if you can get to there. Or Bournemouth even. Yeah, I'm sure we could work something out. Fine. Yes, Marvin was the paranoid android. In the US, the apple cider refers to primarily non-alcoholic cider, hence the term hard cider. What do you think you're doing, United States? No alcohol in your cider as a primary thing? Bad. You get the alcohol in that cider now. If I come to the States, you feed me nothing but hard cider. Bull Dorset, yep. Oh, Yvonne's hometown. Okay, cool. We don't mind coming to Portsmouth. All right, well, like I say, we'll cross that bridge in 2022. But like I say, Poole, Portsmouth, whatever. If you come to the UK, then yes, we need to meet. That is a given. This is going back a bit. You haven't heard of Ohanami. Look it up. It's really good. One of Tom Vassal's recent favorites. Okay, all right. Let's go on to, I was looking up, still on Unitunes. All right. BPG Ohanami. I've not heard of this at all. Ooh, looks pretty. Pandasaurus Games 2019. So it's been out for a little while. Okay. What kind of random picture is that? Yeah, it looks pretty. I like the artwork. Okay, little numbers card game. So obviously abstracted theme. Grow the best garden. I wonder if Danny could get me a copy of this. I might have a look at it. Let's have a look. Consists of a deck of 120 cards. Each card having 1 of 4 symbols. 3 rounds. Score at the end of each round. Receive a hand of 10 cards. Chooses 2. Passes the remaining. So it's a draft. All players reveal at the same time. Then decide whether to use 1, 2, or none of them in personal rows. You have to add it to an existing row. Card must be higher. Discard ones you don't use. Draft. Pass. Okay, gay. Then start a new round, new 10 cards. You've got to decide, and then you have even more cards in round 3. And then you score for cards having a pyramidical scoring structure. Okay, I mean, that sounds interesting. Okay. I'll go watch Tom Vassal's review after this, and I'll find out a bit more on this, actually. I mean, it sounds cool. Maybe I might look it up. Can't play it solo. There's a bit of a problem, and I doubt it's got a TTS mod, so I don't know how I'd play it at the moment. But, I mean, I'll look it up. All right. I'm going to write that down, actually, because I'm not going to remember that. So, Ohanami. All right. I'll have a look at that. That looks pretty sweet. What video game would you like to be created as a board game? Left 4 Dead would just be another Zombicide. Deep Rock Galactic, I think, would be pretty cool. Actually, no. I can think of two. Deep Rock Galactic would be pretty sweet. A co-op 4-player game. You take control of a different dwarf and you go and fight spiders and get mining and stuff like that. I reckon as a board game, that'd be really sweet. If you could get like spider miniatures and stuff like that, that'd be pretty sweet. I would also probably say Ori. The Ori games. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then where have you been if you're into platforming games? But Ori is the best Steam platform game I have ever played. It is hands down the benchmark I use for all platforming games now, the Ori games. They are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They are fluid, smooth, highly addictive, very emotional, lovely little story in them. In fact, you will be in tears in each game. It seriously, I mean, they break your heart. This game. I wonder if I don't want to have the sound on just in case, but let's see. I mean, this is Will of the Wisps. Is it working? Oh, here we go. I mean, yeah, this is the type of cinematics you get in this thing. You know, this looks like something that should be a Don Bluth animation. It looks so good, and this is gameplay. I mean, colors that go on, catch it. Yeah, the colors, the stuff you do. It's a platform. It's a Metrovania style platforming game. You get bosses. Bear in mind, this is the sequel. You need to play the Blind Forest as the first one, which this one is better than Blind Forest, but both of them are 10 out of 10s for me. But oh man, and these do not shy away from some dark concepts, especially this one. This one has a dark ending for the bad guy. Seriously, it's a dark ending. But yeah, love these ones. Gorgeous soundtrack. I listen to it on Spotify, you know, when I'm working. It's such a nice one. Oh, I love these games. But if you could create those kind of visuals in a board game, I'd sign up for that. I would sign up for that. Plenty of hard cider. Oh, Hanami is an excellent filler. Did I play Calico? Yes, I did. I've done a review on my channel. You can check it out. 7 out of 10. I think it's fine. I just don't think it's anything too special. It just seems a bit too random for me. It doesn't feel like a tactical game as more of a push your luck game. My City, I have not played it. That's the legacy one from Reiner Knizia. I don't know. Star Wars Rebellion should be made into a board game. Oh, wait, yeah. Everyone's giving Hanami some love. I'm going to look it up. Cyberpunk 2077, but you get a box of broken pieces for the authentic experience. You're on fire today, mate. And last question before I think I wrap this up, because it is getting a bit long. Are you doing another top 10 solo? You mean the top 10 solo games list? It's not in the plan. I mean, when was the last one I did? The last one I did couldn't have been that long ago, surely. In fact, well, it's not so much that there's a top 10. It's the fact that I could have sworn I did, let's see, Broken Meeple, solo. So 30th September 2018 was the last time I did a solo top 10. Okay, that's going back a bit and that could use an update. But I did do the vlog. I did do these, which was 2 solo game, like part 1 and part 2, where I go over a ton of solo games. So, you know, including solo modes. So, I mean, there's on the Underground. I mean, blimey, I find it hard to go over some of my old stuff because I look at what's happened, and like the visual and the sound and that, and I sometimes have to cringe too much. I wonder if that'd be an interesting stream to do at some point. To sit here and look over like my old stuff and comment on how bad it is. I don't know, it'd be like that. But this, I go over a ton of solo games. I say what I like about them, what could be fixed, that sort of thing. And I talk about tons. I mean, there's nothing in the timestamps for specific ones, but I do it in categories. So in this one, I did self-improvement, beat your scores. I did objective thematics, controlling multiple avatars, that kind of thing. And I go over a ton of solo games. And I just think that because I've done that, I don't feel I need to do a top 10 solo game. So it's not in the plan to do a solo top 10 list, but collaboration-wise, if someone like Not Board Game Mark Dainty or something, or anybody else who's a solo game fanatic wanted to do a discussion on that as a collaboration video, I'd be up for doing that, but I just don't think I need to do another top 10 list. How do I not know about Ohanami? I just never really saw it on the shelf in the UK, maybe. The game has been hyped a lot over the last 5 months, but I suppose I've been busy with other games. Well, definitely I've been busy with other games, but then the thing is, it came out in 2019. Why is it getting hyped up over the last 5 months? What's special about the last 5 months? Did it get re-released or did it just enter wider distribution? I mean, is that it? Did it come out in 2019 in Japan and then get wide distribution? Maybe that's why I've missed it. But yeah, I mean, I have been busy, not just with games, just with COVID lifestyle and my work. Work's really drained me the last couple of months. Do a top 10 solo list with Mark Dainty. I don't know if it would be a top 10 list. I mean, I suppose it could. I mean, 2018 was the last time I did it. It is going back a bit, and I have played some other solo modes since. I think we probably should. I'll have to get in touch with him and see if he wants to do anything on that. Certainly if everyone's asking for it. Probably have too many games. Yep. +1 for cringe stream. I don't know if I want to look at my older stuff. Let's see. It's been reviewed a lot. Hello from New Zealand. Love your content. Thank you for, even though I'm about to wrap this up, thank you for at least popping in, rolling with Rob. Thank you for the kind words. But at least you've got plenty to look for, because I think an hour and 3/4, I think we're getting to the point it's time to wrap this up and decide what one of those I'm going to do. Merv, Arkham Horror LCG. I've still got, this pack to open. Wasp, Disenchantment. I probably do need to do some editing now. I need to get that top 10 Portal games video done at some point. That really does it, because I need to release that before PortalCon, which means I've only got till Friday to get it out. So, and I barely even started editing it. So that's going to be a bit of a mission. So we'll probably look on that. So, right. Last second before I wrap up this stream and you make an appearance. Ben Decken review was terrible. Barely anything was 10 seconds long. Yeah, well, whose fault was that? How you doing, Alex? All right. Well, like I say, people are liking the video. So, there's been a lot of, in fact, actually, there's a little, I don't know if you will have looked on the video yourself, but just before I wrap this up, let's go to there. I mean, like I say, it will take a while for views to build up because this is my channel and not Board Game Co's. I don't get 1 million views, but, well, we've already breached 2,000. That's pretty good. Gotta say, that's pretty good. Let's have a look. Yeah, we breached 2,000 in barely a day. That's actually pretty good going, actually. But one thing I will say is if I go to the comments, I mean, there's some new ones there that I haven't responded to. In fact, there's quite a few I haven't responded to, and it looks like you've been on there responding a few. But let's... Oops, sorry. Yeah, so it looks like you've responded to a few, but I spent a lot of time today responding to a lot of comments, and they've been very positive on it. So I'm glad that it went well with people. I'm glad people enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to doing part 2 with you next week. That should be a good laugh. I might have to bring a stopwatch though and try and keep to the 10-second mark just for giggles. But yeah, a lot of people were saying good things about it. They like the video, so they definitely want us to do more collaborations in the future, not just, they want us to do it with each other, but also in general. So yep, that's definitely got to be a thing. All right, cool. It's not false promises we're in about. Oh, I see what you mean. All right, well, yeah, shame that I got to wrap this up as, Board Game Co. has literally just turned up. But sadly, I do need to get on with other things. So, yep, thanks everybody for joining in. Glad I got through the questions. Definitely there'll be another one of these in February. Top 10 Portal games will be next. Then Alex and I will record that second part, and Alex will get it on his channel soon, so we can all watch that. As for what will come after the top 10, keynote seminar live stream on Saturday. As Ignosti does his 30-minute keynote seminar, I will be live reacting to it. Never done a live reaction video, so that should be interesting. But he asked me to do it, so I figured I'd do it. Hence why I'm doing the top 10 Portal games video, because I'm doing that as a present to him. He doesn't know about that, so unless he watches my videos, but should be pretty cool. Looking forward to that. After that, I'll try and get a first impressions video done of Praga Kaput Regne, I suppose. I've got some B-roll footage. I'll try and get this open. I've got Dune Imperium over there, actually. I need to get played solo, so probably expect a few more first impression videos rather than reviews for a little bit. Unless I do review videos for some older games, or I just really sit down and knuckle down on TTS with some of the other games. I don't know. We shall see, but definitely more. And obviously, Board Game Ramblings and our top 10 collaboration will get done in probably a fortnight's time, I suspect, will be the timing for it. So should be pretty good. But yes, I haven't got any cider here to enjoy, unfortunately, Salt, but I do have some beers in the fridge. Maybe I'll have one of them. We'll see. Something to drink while I can. But anyway, thanks a lot for joining me, guys. Take care. Love you all. It's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure doing these. Glad to see you. And I'll see you on the next Broken Meeple video. Take care. Love you all.